Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I know that there might be a couple minutes where people will still be trickling in, but no worries about that. So I'm Kay from the Anvaigo team, and I'm very excited to be here with my colleague, Nils, to talk with you guys today about the Anvaigo Checklist App.
So it's me, Nils, being responsible for the product development at Anvaigo. So I'm here for the technical details of the presentation and with my colleague Kay.
Yeah, so I'm Kay from the partner management and marketing side of things. You might have had a demo with me in the past, but I'm sort of going to be your first contact for a lot of these questions and points in regards to Anvaigo in general, and specifically about our checklist mobile app today. So if you have any questions that come up at any time, you can go ahead and throw those in the FAQ. And yeah, we're really looking forward to telling you about everything. But Niels, you were telling me the other day about a really interesting situation that you had just going on at home where someone else was using a different type of app.
That's right. So let's get started with a story. So at the beginning of this year, I was buying an electric car, and to do some more for the environment, I decided to have some solar power plant on the top of my roof at home. So this is my home, looks good when it's sunny. So the company really did a great job. The installation went well, very fast. And I would say the atmosphere was awesome until the end of the day, because at the end of the day, they said, well, we are done with our job, but now we have to do some extra work. We have to do a documentation about everything what we were doing. So it's like, okay, typical information about lake date and time, contact person. They have to take photos. They have to ask me about the satisfaction. I was satisfied. And it was not only the notes, literally it was about 10 additional pages they had to fill out to do this installation report. So can you think how people really like doing so? Not at all. It's like,
I don't think anyone loves doing documentation, so I can
all
only
right.
imagine how that went.
So it went this way. They filled out it exactly this way. By the way, I will just fill it out later because they said, okay, we are done for today. I don't want to fill out this information right now. So the data quality at the end was bad because it's just the date. I'm satisfied. No notes. I think they took at least 1 or 2 pictures. That's it, but not about the next 9 pages. So yeah, what can you think about what happens next? Yeah, the back office, of course, is not very happy with this result. Like, I will do this later. They decided, hey, we need this info. It's important. Let's set up some required fields. Okay, let's set up required fields. What is this? The result? The data quality is bad because if contact person is a required field and I don't want to fill out this information because it takes so much time, I will just put stupid data in there that is useless at the end. And so, yeah, the data quality is just bad. So, yeah, and this was kind of the point where we decided, hey, we need something else here.
Yeah, so there's definitely an easier way to handle that one, both for the team in the back office to get correct, accurate information, and for those technicians on site, to sort of make their lives easier. Because documentation is the secondary portion of what they're doing. And what they actually want to be doing is that installation, that service, any of that work that they're doing on site. So let's show how we can do this a little better on our side. So I've got my iPad in front of me, as you all can see, and I'm in our Anvaigo Checklist app here. So here we're talking about an easy-to-use app for any of your teams, for your customers, for them to be able to go out on site and do what they need to do. And today I've got a base installation report. So I can select my installation report, select where I'm visiting today, and then I have pretty much similar information I have to fill out. An installation is an installation. But let's make this a little easier. I'm going to go ahead and hit my little voice recorder button at the top and let the AI do all of the work for me. So the date is today. The contact person is Paul. The installation has been completed, but the customer satisfaction, they're not really very happy. We need to go back and handle a couple of things on site and recomplete the installation. So they are not happy. All right. Well, AI has a little think. I got to have my conversation with my iPad, and let's see what it gives me. Oh, and it was able to fill in pretty much all of that information. I'm still missing a photo, so I'm going to go ahead and take a photo on my side. There we go. Looks pretty good to me. I've got that photo added in there. Also collect that signature. All right, I have all of my details, everything I'm needing. And that was really easy. I can just get on with my day. The AI made that a lot simpler for me.
Okay, that is a very simple scenario with the installation report. Is there some other examples you can show us? Is it just generic on all types of checklists, or is it just the installation report we make it working?
No. So let me show you what that might look like for example, an apartment handover. We've all had to, get a new house, get a new apartment at some point. But, there's a lot of information that I need to fill out. I have to list the condition of everything that's going on there. And I can do that a lot simpler on my side with the AI. So let's give that a shot here. The condition of everything is absolutely perfect. It is great, except for the condition where some of the tiles are broken and need to be replaced. So I don't even have to address every single step, every single question that I might be doing. I can just say everything is looking great, and let's see what we got. Oh, that all looks good to me, and I can continue on. Yeah, going through all of the steps that I might need to be doing on site.
Well, that means instead of going through all these different fields, you just talk to the device, say everything is good except, so the AI detects, okay, these are the fields available. And at the end, it's structured data behind these. Can you just show the condition of the bathroom? What options are available here?
Okay, tiles need to replace. It also got those notes, but as we see those little pencils on the side, I do have a couple of possibilities. So it was able to determine, based on what I was talking about, that even these standardized answers to select the right one that was fitting.
All right, so that means depending on what I'm saying, the AI detects the meaning about what you're saying and then identifies the right selected field that is available here. Okay, cool.
Exactly. Yeah. So, standardized data, regardless of my situation, what information I am working with, I can go through and fill all of that out. And my team doesn't really have to worry about step by step going through, selecting, writing all those notes in my hand. And it's really quick and easy to walk through. For example, 10 pages of documentation.
Cool. All right, that means as a result, we say AI gives you better results with less effort. That means the users is not like, oh, I have to fill out this information, or it's like, I will skip and do this later. No, people really like doing this because it's just speaking, it's just talking to the phone and it identifies the right fields. And then you become just much faster, not because you're just saving time. Yes, it's faster just speaking to the phone, it's also faster receiving the data because it's not like I will do this later. I don't like to do this. No, it makes fun. I can collect more information just by talking. You have the ability to really collect more information in more details because there's no extra work and typing this in on small devices. It's always something you don't like and it takes time and you should just do the minimum. No, it's just talking to the device and you get all the structured data in there. And at the end, you just improve the quality because when you get this information earlier, you remember everything. It's not like the installation was 3 days ago and now the back office says I have to fill out this information. Well, yes, maybe I have some notes. No, it makes fun. I can do this recording of information immediately right now. So you also improve the quality. That sounds
Exactly.
pretty awesome.
Yeah, so we've heard a lot of customers say things like, oh, the team has an office day where they do all of the paperwork that they would otherwise do on site. Or at the end of the day, they need an hour or two when they're back at their home. Get rid of that completely. Just a couple of seconds, a couple of minutes, depending on how much they've got going on there, and have all of that right away. It's definitely up to date and exactly what is needed so the back office can do everything faster.
But wait, this was just structured data. What about text? So let's just jump in the case where we have unstructured data. Maybe we have some notes and comments. So this is long text with more information, not like pre-selected values. So maybe I would just add some new fields into this checklist. So we will now jump for a minute or two into Business Central and show you how you can customize these checklist templates by yourself. Because we think that the customization and the setup of checklist must be as easy as possible. So without any development, we have decided to go into the checklist templates and provide an easy to use administration. So if we have a look at the installation report, you can see the values that were just provided in the user interface are available for every user without any development. So we simply say, okay, this is the installation report. We have to collect date, contact person, photos, and so on. Yeah, and now let's see what we can do with unstructured data. So I will deactivate the checklist. So I can now make some changes. Add, for example, the notes field. And it should be, and now we can see the flexibility, Boolean, code, day, daytime. So every type of field I'd like to collect is available. Oh, it's a text area, so a long text because I need to type in or speak in some information, a text area. And beside these basic attributes, here you can see it's mandatory fields or use comments. It's also available. There's some more attributes. And we'll double check to see some new features here with allow translation and text summary in the future. So there's a lot of options available. So the idea here is that all the setup can be done by normal users that have the knowledge about the core processes, not a developer. So not the Dynamics partner, not the developer. It can be done by the users that are responsible for doing setups. And then
Exactly.
just move it around, notes and signature.
And I really love how easy this setup is. I'm not a technical person. I really am not. It's, not my forte. But this is something that I can do myself. I know the processes. I know what I'm expecting the teams on site to be doing, and I can actually walk through and have all of these options available and be able to work exactly as I need to write the processes. And then my team knows, okay, this is exactly the process that I discussed with the back office or that I discussed with Kay and work with. And that puts power a lot more into customers' hands and to the actual users who know what they should be doing.
And for example, there's also the possibility to link the checklist to some Dynamics records. Like here, this one is linked to a customer table, but can be linked to an order, to contact table, whatever you'd like to. So, okay, but let's double check how this looks like in the app. So this was a small change I made on the installation report. So how does it look like now?
All right, so let's start a new report, and I can see I already right away have that notes field added. So let's go ahead and give a shot what filling that out would look like, that notes field as well. So installation date is still today. Contact person is still Paul. Installation has been completed. The customer is still not satisfied. Please add a note. I've been yelled at by the customer for the last 45 minutes because they've been dealing with expecting a 2-hour installation, but I don't know who in back office, Steve, I'm assuming this is you, told them that because this is definitely a 5-hour installation and I'm not going to be able to do anything faster than that. So someone needs to discuss this with them before we go back. All right, now that was kind of a lot of information from my side of things, but we do know there is a lot of information sometimes that is handed over on site and a lot of emotions. For example, there. So I still was able to get that structured data, but here I've got all of that non-structured data as well. Okay, I have been yelled at by this customer for quite some time. I have all of those details. Okay, someone needs to discuss these things with them when we get back, and it captured all of that data.
Okay, this saves a
Now,
lot of time in really recording the data. So hold on here for a second. Let's go back to the slides. So basically, we empower users to really record everything. You can easily manage your checklist on your own. And now we're in the way the installation went wrong. You were just yelling into your phone like it's going wrong. That's awesome. But do you really want to send out this text as an internal note? Maybe yes. Do you really want to send out this text as a public report to the client?
Definitely not. Definitely not. So I think there might be something that we can do about that. And down at the bottom, you can see I've got a beautiful little button that says magic. So let's go ahead and hit some AI magic. And I'm just going to let that do all the thinking for me. And it's going to give me a much more professional outcome here. It's going to give me some sort of information that I can actually provide to the customer.
The customer has been experiencing frustration for the past 45 minutes. Okay, this is not like yelling anymore. It
No, this
appears
is
that someone in the back office, possibly Steve, may have communicated this incorrect. Okay, that's more professional. Wow. Okay.
This is much more professional. It's definitely something I can hand over to the customer, and yet it allows me on site to actually say what I think and feel in all of my comments, and then rephrase that and make that a little better for, we'll say, public consumption, whereas my back office still gets the gist of it that, we need to talk to Steve and get things worked out about telling the customers the right information. Yeah.
Okay, so that means you can at the end record the real information, all the details that you really need to record, and then press the magic button either here in the app or later on Business Central to really have a more professional version out of it. That's awesome. Cool.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, again, let's go back to the key message here. Better results with less effort. Users are excited, or maybe they're just upset and they want to just yell into their phone. It's okay, but they
Yeah.
can just record everything and you just improve the quality, the outcome, because you now impress your customers with these professional reports. So the job of service technician, for example, is not to write texts. Their job is to do repairs, installations. They're much better in this, but with the magic here, we can also impress the customers on that level with professional reporting. All right, that's okay. That was AI feature number 2. Let's go to feature number 3. Okay, what about some language issues? So I'm working for an English company. However, you're speaking German and you'd like to talk to your phone in German because you're not that good in English. What can we do here?
Exactly. So I can actually go in and I can use my preferred language. I work in Europe, so I have a couple of languages that we work with, and our customers very frequently are working with multiple languages. And everyone should be able to use the language they prefer when they're working because it's easier for me to actually do my work then. So let's give the AI a shot and see how it likes my German. Please add a note. Wir sollten definitiv im Voraus der Kunde anrufen, weil als wir angekommen sind, standen die da im Bademantel mit deren Kaffeetassen. Und äh, es war so ein bisschen unangenehm, dass wir zu früh sind. Also bitte definitiv vorher anrufen.
All right. Anyone in the audience understanding that German? So if not, we will have the English translation here. So it's something about a bathrobe and a coffee cup. So just press on the English button,
Exactly.
please.
Exactly. And this means I can also go ahead and say, we should call the customers in advance. They were standing there in their bathrobe, still having their morning coffee. That's a little uncomfortable, so we need to make sure that's done. From here, I can then still hit the magic button if I would like. And I can also provide that. That's a little more, maybe not quite as professional. I need to make that a little nicer sounding before I send that out that they weren't awake. So, it's important to call in advance. Please ensure that they're contacted to avoid similar situations. That sounds perfect. My back office, my management's really going to appreciate that when I have to give them that information. And then all of that's really nice. And the customer isn't going to be embarrassed by something like that because they know exactly what happened.
All right. So this is English, German. Any limitations on the languages?
No. So, as you know, I did take a little bit of Japanese, so let's give it a little bit of a try here and see how it likes. We're going to say non-English using letters. Please add a note. Hajimemashite, wakarimasen, gomenasai. So as you can see, I can also redo my AI. Maybe my notes weren't completed or I needed to add other fields. Oh, in this case, it's not liking that today.
Let's try again. Yeah.
As we know, it is AI. So please add a note. Hajimemashite, wakarimasen desu ne, gomenasai. Ah, there we go. Much better.
Okay. Anyone here that can read it? So any ideas?
Exactly.
Please press the
We'll
English button.
go ahead and definitely make that easier on the other side of things. I don't understand, so sorry. Thank you. Very common phrase. Glad I know that one. But this means regardless of whether we're using sort of the English alphabet or not, I can use whatever language I prefer. I can also use, if I have a very heavy accent, it's still going to pick that up. We've tried quite a lot on our side to really ensure that it's definitely, able to understand. Sometimes it doesn't understand, as you see, and I just try again, but that's a matter of the AI. Just maybe I'm too far away from the microphone, things like that. And not that it doesn't understand the language, but I can go ahead and still use that. And I can still do my job without having to worry about not having the best language that the customer is needing.
Regarding this feature, we had a very interesting situation at the Directions EMEA conference. So it was like, let's talk to the device in any language. So Japanese, German is fine. But in Switzerland, we do have some very different accents about how they speak German. And they told us that in some areas of Switzerland, it's so different that I didn't understand a single word of German, but the AI did. It was really getting all the information incorrectly, press on translate to actually German, and it was working fine. So, okay, cool. That means accessible to all languages. Just talk to your device, and including notes, including translation. That's amazing. Saving a lot of time. Cool.
Exactly. And what this really means is you're definitely getting the best person for the job. Their language proficiency, it doesn't matter. It makes them much happier to do their job because I'm the perfect technician for exactly this. But, my English isn't the best. My French isn't so great. My French is terrible, by the way. And I can actually just go on and do my job. I'm much faster about doing all of my documentation. So my customer is happy, my back office is happy. I don't have to spend a day doing it. And that quality overall is much better than if I had tried to stumble through writing any of that in French.
Awesome. So that was translation within the app. Let's do now the setup. So yeah, I can speak Danish, but I do have Danish colleagues. What about other languages like Czech and so on? So there's lots of languages available through Europe. And if we have a look in the mobile app, maybe you can just go to the language chooser. So you can see if you press on change language, so you can simply select of all the predefined languages available. Maybe you'll just select something you'd like to Portuguese or Norwegian. So of course,
I think I can understand the Spanish halfway.
okay, perfect. So if we have a look at this, everything is translated. That looks good. But when I create a new checklist template, I do have the issue that I have to provide all the translations as well, because the users at the end would like to have it in their own language. So yes, you can do some copy and paste, but I think there should be an easier way. So let's go to the fourth AI example. So we do have the same checklist we've seen before with date, contact person, and so on. And if I deactivate my checklist, you can see, of course, every single value is available in all the different languages. So we tested this with Finnish. This is a very different language to the Central European ones. Translations were fine, so we think the quality should be okay. We just added the notes field, but as you can see, the notes are only available in English because I'm English speaking, but what about all the different languages? I don't have a clue. So no problem. Just do a lot of copy and paste. No worries, you can do so. So there's free translation software available on the web, maybe ChatGPT or whatever. But what about doing an integration? See? make it as easy as possible. So what we do here is we provide, when the checklist is deactivated, we provide the possibility to either add a new translation or add missing translations. That means we are now detecting 11 languages we'd like to see on this checklist, and we are automatically translating this missing field notes. All the remaining fields are translated already, but now the notes field is also available in a different language. Maybe we can just double check in the app. So I will just press activate. Now you can just press on synchronize to get the app. And now you should have the Informe de Installation. Sorry, don't speak that language. Notas, not notes. Quite the same, but at the end it's translated.
Yeah. And I have all of that information, so I don't have to worry about even understanding if I've read the question right. But I have all of those that I can go through. And even let's look at that client satisfaction there. Even my standard responses are automatically translated.
I have no clue what this means, but at the end, the last one was, I think, the one satisfaction.
They're very
Satisfaction.
happy, kind of satisfied, and
There's
kind of not
satisfaction
happy.
in there. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So in the same way, of course, we can now go in and say I was missing Danish. So I just say add a new translation selected from the list. I'd like to have Danish. So it's 13 fields that should be added. I think my colleagues already
have Danish today. So why don't we try?
Yeah, check. I think my colleagues added Danish this morning in the first demo in German. So let's do check. So it's now 13 translation being translated fields translated automatically. And let's go to the customer satisfaction. It's now available in Czech as well. And if we look at the details, actions, where is it? Here, edit. Here's the predefined values that are available. And of course, these are translated into Czech as well. So I don't have a clue. We double checked with some European languages with native speakers, and they said, okay, that's fine. So saving a lot of time.
Definitely.
All right. Now we come to the question how we do all these AI translations, AI voice control, AI magic. So let's have a look at the infrastructure for a second. So you do have your Business Central system, either BC Online or on-prem. We do have the infrastructure you know from Anvaigo today, which is either the Anvaigo mobile app cloud service as a managed service from our side, or if you want to have it self-managed app service on your side. And from there, we connect to the mobile apps, any type of devices supported. Now the question arises, how do we get data from OpenAI to do this AI magic? So let's start with OpenAI first. So we decided to put an Anvaigo AI service in between to provide these services you have seen today, like voice control, magic rewrite, and translate as the first three features we're going to ship in the first release. We do this because we'd like to make it as easy as possible for you to really use AI, because of course, there's a possibility to write some APIs and do some request tokens, but there's so many things you have to think about, like which model is the right one? What type of authentication do you want to do? What is the right temperature to really set up the AI, the system prompt? I can continue for maybe the next 10 minutes about how many values there are. So what we'd like to do is to make it as easy as possible to provide these AI service and say, okay, there is a translate feature or there's a magic rewrite feature. And then within the app, we say, okay, it's just one line of code. So let's double check. I've prepared some examples here. So here we can see, for example, for a meeting report, the magic button. So the magic button is now available also outside the checklist app. And here you can see one line of code, AAIS, the Anvaigo AI service, calling the magic text. And this is text I'd like to summarize. Please wait at maximum 15 seconds for a response, and then I will just write it back to the user interface. That means AI is now available with one line of code. And this way, it's easy to do summarization, translations into any languages. And you can do this either on the mobile side or also in Business Central. Shall we just have a look at this, how it looks like in the Sales app? Because you can see we are now leaving the first time the Checklist app. We are now having a look at the Sales app you already know. And here we can see the meeting reports. That's a good way for doing translations.
Exactly. And that's something we hear a lot is obviously I need that meeting report. And you can see down here, added to my long text field, I have that information and I can go ahead and work with all three buttons. So let's give that AI a chance. Please add a note to the content. We need to call the customer. They're moving in December, so all of their stock needs to come back to us, and then we can figure everything out later, but they're a little worried and they can't even give me a new address. So let's see how that works. And I love the ability to just talk about my meeting reports because obviously I've had a conversation with them. And there we go. I have all of that information right there. And I can go ahead and just hit that magic button right away and have definitely some correct streamlined information. Please add a note to contact the customer. They're moving in December. All their stock needs to be returned. That's great. That's really easy. If I was using that in another language, I also have that translate button there. And if I remember correctly, I can also have one button that does all of that for me. So I can talk in German in whatever angry variant I would like to use because I'm very annoyed that they have to send all of their stock back. And December is, around the corner here. And then have that in a very professional in English in this case, or in my preferred language. Information for my back office team to work with.
So that means as a result, this type of services are available either to the mobile app and also to Business Central. That means the command you have just seen here in the code, AAIS, is also available in AL, in Dynamics Development. That means if you need translations, if you need the rewriting of text, for example, or other AI services, we'll talk about this later, you can easily access this with this AI service from our side with just one line of code. Why do we do this? First of all, it's being flexible. Because we have seen that OpenAI is definitely the leader in terms of quality and, of course, in terms of pricing. But we don't know what's about the future. So it's either a different provider, maybe providing a better quality, or being cheaper. So AI is developing so fast that we'd like to be open, we'd like to be flexible. And with the Anvaigo AI service, we can do a mapping. That means today we say by default, all these features run through OpenAI because it's the leader, it's the cheapest, it's the best quality. But if that changes, we can say, okay, let's now map all these features to Microsoft Azure OpenAI, or maybe in the future to Google or other services. That means without doing any change on the customer side, we can simply map all these AI features to a different different provider that provides the AI services. And for European companies, also very important, you can map sensitive information for specific areas or for everything if you'd like to, also to local services that are hosted in Europe or even in Germany or specific countries on your side, because we provide then a mapping based on a specific instance. If you know Anvaigo, there's Anvaigo instance names. And for each instance, you can do a different mapping. That means by default, everything is done through OpenAI, but this customer needs this service going through Azure OpenAI. So that means we are very flexible and you can change it at any times. And then we have the flexibility to really update this without doing any new rollouts, because maybe tomorrow OpenAI has an issue. We just switch to Azure OpenAI from the server side without doing any changes on the client side. Okay, and then, of course, in the future, we'd like to provide also the feature in the next releases to build your own AI features. That means you will get access to the system prompts. You can build your own services on this way. And then you have the same flexibility on your side for either BC or to the Anvaigo mobile app. That means completely flexible structure because the AR world is developing that fast. So if you have questions on that slide, we did have some in our sessions at Directions EMEA. I'm happy to answer these questions at the end of the presentation.
From the sort of easy, not quite as technical side of things, what that means for me as a customer is I can go in and say, I want access to these features. I need to use that magic rewrite. How you get that to work for me, I don't want to have to think about finding an AI service or this, that, and the other. Just go ahead, add that AI service and not worry about what's running in the background. Or if you have other specific requirements, you say, this particular AI service is the one that's working best for my company and my country, is meeting my data protection requirements based on where I'm sitting or where my end customer is sitting, then we can always go ahead and link to those and modify that as needed. And still, your clients are getting those wonderful AI features, at any point in current apps, as well as in that checklist app.
Yeah, especially when you have a system in place and you say, okay, I'd like AI in specific this area, then just add it now. You don't have to use the checklist. So checklist is perfect for AI, but you can integrate AI in any existing application you have already in place with Anvaigo.
Exactly. I think we've already heard 6 or 7 or 8 requirements of, oh, I need to add that magic rewrite here and there, and can I put this in my app? I'd say that's definitely the one that's winning for we want that as fast as possible. Yeah. I like it as well. Don't have to worry about my grammar.
Let's sum up for a second. So we said AI gives you better results with less effort in 4 different areas.
So I've got that voice control. I can completely control my entire app by just talking, have it fill everything in for me. As I say, I love that magic rewrite. It is my favorite to go ahead and say, hey, I'll just have a conversation. It'll pick up all of this information. It'll even notice if I'm saying, oh, okay, let's, no, it is this and not that information, and make that sound professional for my customer. And that translation. So I can definitely get the right people on site, my customers, not having to worry about language barriers or proficiency, but they can use their app exactly how they prefer. And I definitely still get the right information on my end in back office or as a customer. So having the in-app translations and the checklist translations makes it a lot easier for anyone I have working on site.
Okay, this is
all of that.
Yeah, so this is the 4 features we provide in the first release. In the future, you can also easily build your own AI features, but then I'd like to provide some preview about something we are currently working on. It will be in the future releases as well. So I'm going to show my screen for a second. So what we've seen so far was the user side of the checklist app, where you can enter checklist, enter the values, work on checklist. Now we are connected from the admin side. So this is now available for those ones who would like to set up checklist. So what we're doing now is I'm just taking a very simple draft. That's an easy one, just a date. Maybe we think about, I need a checklist for a computer inspection. Of course, as you have seen before, you can go into Business Central and set up a checklist for a computer inspection. But wait. Well, I need a checklist for computer inspections. Please suggest 5 to 6 fields that make sense for a computer inspection. And yeah, at the end, I need at least a signature from the technician. So screen sharing is off. Give me a second. So it's still working on the user input. So what I now get is an idea on how a computer inspection may look like. It's like a computer model, the system, the hardware condition, maybe also with the values good, fair, poor, needs repair. So software update status, virus scan status, technician signature. So that means I can easily start with a draft in the backend. That means when I now press synchronize, I will see all these values in the back end we've just seen, and then easily make some changes. So either in Business Central, or you can also say, yeah, the operating system field should not be a required field. So the operating system field was a red field, which is showing us it's a required field. Now it's in white, so it's an optional field. So there's the technician signature. I need some more. Yeah, can you please add a new signature at the end? I need the customer signature as well. So I just talk to my phone and say, okay, I need some more signature fields, and here we go: technician signature, customer signature. And it's automatically detecting, oh, well, technician, customer signature, all the naming is already correct. So we double checked this with some other interesting scenarios. Well, I need a tire inspection of the car. So for all the 4 wheels, I need to collect the pressure. Can you please add 4 fields? All right. A car, 4 fields. What does it mean? Yeah, I need to provide the fields like front and left and right and back and so on. So I can set it up manually by this, or doing AI the job. So it's automatically detecting, well, a car has 4 wheels. So it's front left, it's front right, it's rear left, it's rear right. It's just saving you time in setting up checklist, because AI is understanding some basic things about the world. Not everything, of course, but this saves you a lot of time. And now I can just press synchronize and continue in Business Central with this information. So it's just easier to set up checklists and doing demos or whatever, and set up the checklist template. So this is like a preview, not available in the first version, but we're working on this quite.
I think we might have lost Nils on the sound there. Um,
Here we go. I'm back again. So was
there we
just my.
go. Yeah. But I love, the ability to talk into my checklist, because it's not even your back office who's thinking of a process. It's the actual people using the process who can do that, make a suggestion, and then the back office can check and say, no, we do also need these 3 additional points because we need you to do that. So I love that. So as we saw today, we looked at the Anvaigo checklist specifically. We also saw a little bit of the sales app. But from our side of things, we have a full product family with our mobile app. We have our service, sales, and delivery base apps, as well as our checklist, very flexible in the use there. But everything is always built in what we call our app builder. So you can always go and build a custom app for any scenario and industry. So the checklists can be custom checklists specifically for those industries and scenarios, built by yourselves, built by your customers, or entirely a whole new app fitting to specifically your customers' needs with that app builder.
So the important thing now is that the checklist as we've seen here today can be either standalone and be connected either to a customer, that's it, but you can also include the checklist within the service app, the sales app, or the delivery app. That makes it very flexible in collecting data, having this flexibility you've seen here today in any of the other apps as well.
Exactly.
So for example, in service. So if we have a short look in the service app, so we always have these 4 steps, like from creating, preparing, informing the customer, doing the work. And then in between, we do have the checklist to do the job. And then we have everything else within the service app, of course, available. So this is completely included into the service app, and then it's available.
So that makes it easy for me to go and do my job on site. So if I go down in my checklist, I also have a couple of checklists that I can work with. I love for service having that flexibility to go in and say, all right, I have my checklist that I need to work with. I still have those same mandatory fields, that same information and flexibility that you would expect in regards to standardized answers, yes, no questions, giving me different responses, or giving me different questions in total. And I can just work to specifically what my team needs. And I can say, okay, I've got my inspection, I've got my installation, I've got separate checklists based on the particular type of process I'm completing or the type of instrument that I'm working with. All of that's available for me there.
All right. So this is what we'd like to show you today, AI in the app. So for examples, ready to ship. The fifth is the flexibility coming in the next version, and also creating checklists within the app. So we do have some time for questions, either in the chat or in the FQ&A area. So maybe we can have a look in what we can find here.
So one question I have gotten a couple of times in the last, I would say, few weeks from our partners and our customers is how can we start using it ourselves? So what you're looking at today or looked at today with the checklist app, go ahead and download that from your preferred store, Apple App Store, Google Play, or the Microsoft Store with the checklist app and get playing around with that AI feature. Yeah, and see how you like that, how that fits to your scenarios, as well as with that checklist app to, create your own checklists and things like that. And I look forward to hearing how you're actually using it, what your checklists look like, and your thoughts on that as well.
So we do have the first question about loud environments. So actually what happens when we're not sitting in the office. So the best test we did on this was Directions EMEA. Maybe you remember our booth. It was very loud in there, people standing around us talking quite loud. So it was still detecting our voice okay. So it really depends, of course, a little bit on the hardware you're using. If you use, for example, an iPad or iPhone, it has quite good microphones. So we think this also has an impact on the quality at the end. But we've seen that the detection about what you're saying was absolutely okay, even if there's quite a loud environment. However, it's always a test we should run together with our clients. If you'd like to test, just go to Google Play on the Apple App Store, on the Microsoft Store. So what you've seen here today is available as a public demo in the checklist app. So you can try to press on record on that public demo and try by yourself, because this is just something you have to experience by yourself to get convinced. Okay, second question is about the feature availability. So it's technically ready, but always when developers are saying it's ready, we need some more time for shipping, So there's some documentation we have to write, or there's some testing that has to be done. So development has been, I would say, done since 3 to 4 weeks already. So we are planning to ship this release in January 2026. So in very short notice. Any more questions regarding this new feature? Okay, I can't see any. Thank you very much for joining for today. So as a follow-up, first of all, get us on LinkedIn regarding updates and releases. So LinkedIn is the best place to get the upcoming release information. And of course, as I just said, try with your own device. That definitely makes sense to really experience with your own device.
So thank you. I think we might have one more question coming in.
Yep. We'll say wait a second. Okay. That's
No
feedback.
questions.
Thank you very much.
Perfect. Yeah, but thank you everyone for taking the time, and we do really look forward to hearing from you and hearing how your customers are liking this and yourselves. So I would say go ahead and get tested and get testing and playing around, and yeah, have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Have a great day. Bye bye.